So I'm going to be starting yet another series on my channel. Hopefully you guys like this series. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It is Charles from the channel Books on Stereo, and like I said, I have a new series for you guys, and it is entitled Recent Reads. Now you may be asking, what is the big idea behind this new video series? And this is basically me wanting to create a series of videos where I talk about the books that I recently read, but I don't want to put it under any time constraints. I don't want to have to publish this video every week or do it every month. This is just a really informal video just talking about some of the books that I have recently read. And I think this is a good idea. Let me know down in the comment section down below if you absolutely hate this idea and I could just scrap this whole video series, but I do hope that you guys enjoy this series. And without further ado, let's get into the books. Up first, I have A Guy Walks Into My Bar by Lauren Blakely, and this is an MM standalone contemporary romance. And quick thoughts, so I gave this one a 4 out of 5 stars. I think it was a really great audiobook listen. I listened to this on audio. It had dual narrations with a full supporting cast. I believe our two main narrators were Joe Arden and Shane East, and they both did a fantastic job. I thought the story was really fun, really engaging, and really steamy. But for me, the only reason why I didn't give it a full 5 out of 5 stars, or why I took off 1 star, was because I didn't really feel any emotional resonance in a way. I enjoyed the story, I enjoyed the characters' relationship and their chemistry, but it all felt a little bit surface level for me. And that's why I decided to take off a star from my rating of this book. And then up next I have American Sweethearts by Adriana Herrera, and this is book 4 in the American Dreamers series, I believe that's what it's called. And this one is actually a heterosexual romance. And quick thoughts, I still gave this one a 4 out of 5 stars, but it was really more like a 3.5 out of 5 stars. I definitely feel like this was the weakest of the quartet, and this was oddly the shortest one of the whole entire quartet, and I did feel that it needed a little bit more time to fully flesh out its characters and their romance. But overall, I did enjoy this final book in this quartet, and I'm super excited to see what Adriana Herrera writes next, because I really did enjoy this series and I think she does an excellent job with MM, and I'm excited to see what she does with like FF or MF. Even though this was an MF, but I would like to read more MF from her, if that makes sense. Up next I have Room by Kendall Gray, and this is book 1 in the Asgard Awakening series, and this one is an urban fantasy. So essentially in this book we follow Norse mythology, but it's set in current times, and we basically follow our main character named Loki, and the twist with the story is that instead of Loki being a dude, Loki is actually a female. And basically the rest of the story is her trying to figure out why her gender was switched, or I guess you could say her sex was switched. And then you also try to figure out why she was placed wherever she was placed in this new world. And so I did not like this book. I gave it a 1 out of 5 stars. I was more expecting this to be an urban fantasy / romance, but our main character Loki was super annoying. I think almost every other page she mentioned her boobs and how hot she was. And for a vast majority of this book, we really don't go anywhere. You really don't get any answers to what is going on and how Loki fits into all of this. You really just kind of watching her go around, give her witty commentary on how she doesn't understand modern technology, and then she also just likes to comment on how it is being in a female body. And that's basically our story. And so yeah, I did not like this one. Then I read Somebody to Love by April Wilson, and this is an MM romantic suspense novel. And I enjoyed this for what it was. I gave it a 3.5 out of 5 stars, which I'll round up to 4 on Goodreads. My main problem with this is it's not like if you were new to MM romances, you might enjoy this one even more. But for me, I've always seen the trope of like one character doesn't really understand their sexuality, but then they meet the other male character who's already out, and then like you just have to deal with all that drama. One thing that I really liked about the Lauren Blakely book was that both characters were out. There wasn't any coming out, there wasn't any discovering their sexuality. They were just two gay characters and it was just their romance. And with this one, we have to kind of deal with one of the characters kind of coming to terms with his sexuality, but then we also have to figure out who the serial killer is in this book. And one of my main gripes about this book is that the whole mystery of who the serial killer is pretty much wraps up really quickly. It really is more like just like a footnote and just a way to push our character's romance even further, if that makes any sense. So I was a little bit disappointed in how quickly that storyline resolved, but I enjoyed it for what it was. Then up next I have How to Vex a Vampire by Alice Winters, and this is book 1 in the VCR series, and this is an MM paranormal romance, and I give this one a 3 out of 5 stars. I enjoyed it for what it was, but for me personally, I felt the humor was just a little bit off, and there was just too much of it in this book for me. There's a lot of witty banter and a lot of snarky dialogue, so if you really like that, you will end up enjoying this book. And I would say steam level, probably like a 1 or a 2 level. It's not very steamy. It's very tame, if you want to say. Like, you can consider this like a rom-com paranormal MM romance, if you want to classify it as that, because it is really funny. It's really tongue-in-cheek. There's a slight mystery or thing that the characters have to solve, but that kind of really takes a back burner, and you really just spend a lot of time with our two main characters and them just going off of each other and just bantering with each other. And if you like that, you may end up enjoying this book, but for me, it just didn't quite fully work for me. And then I read this giant paperback, which is Sacred Omega, which is book 1 of the Guardian Dragon series by Aiden Bates and Jill Haven, and this is a Fated Mates paranormal dragon MM romance. And you guys, I really did end up enjoying this one. I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars. It is quite ridiculous, and I acknowledge that, but I just really liked it. It was fun, it was quick, it was to the point, and the audiobook was really nice. And all the books in this series are also available on audio, so I'm about to binge all those books. So let me know down in the comment section down below if you like this video, if you want to see me do more of these videos, and I will catch you guys in a brand new video. Peace.